Well, I'm not one to do too many commentary videos, but in this case, I think it's warranted. And I'm sure you've heard by now that Jack Swagger last night was arrested after the SmackDown tapings in Biloxi, Mississippi on charges of DUI and possession of marijuana. So, and this really comes at a bad time for WWE as it looked like he was going to get a major push, especially with the new tweaking of his character. He just come back to WWE about 3 weeks ago after about a 6-month hiatus. They gave him a mouthpiece named Zeb Coulter, otherwise known as Dutch Mantel, and it kind of begs the question: what are they going to do with him now? What are they going to do with Jack Swagger after this arrest? Well, there's a number of things that they could do, and I'm gonna go over them in detail. Okay, the first thing is, could they fire him? Well, it is well within the rules of the WWE, and it's well within their right to do so, as is. It's not only a violation of their wellness policy, but it could also be considered a breach of contract, and that is something that can result in termination. So that's one thing that could happen, and I'll go over a couple more things as we go. Another thing they could do is probably suspend him. And I think probably this would be more likely, as far as I know, this is his first strike against the wellness policy. So one would have to think if that's all this is, if this is just his first strike, one would think he'd be suspended for 30 days, and which would, for all intents and purposes, take him out of WrestleMania. So if that were to happen, that would really put a big damper on Swagger's career and his character going forward. And it also begs another question: should he be taken out of the match against Alberto Del Rio at WrestleMania 29? Personally, I think he should be, but if he is, then just wonder what they would do from there. Would you have? I suppose if they're going to suspend him right away and not have him be in the match, they could probably what they could do is have a #1 contenders match between like maybe against with a Mark Henry against a Sheamus or something like that, or maybe they could throw Randy Orton into that mix, although Mark Henry's already beaten Randy Orton twice in the last couple weeks, so I don't think that would really make a lot of sense. But as far as something like that goes, I think that would be something I'm sure would be considered if they decide to go that route. And if they were to have a #1 contender match for the world title, for the right to take on Del Rio at WrestleMania, one would have to think that Mark Henry would be right in line for that. But as far as that goes, if they were to go that route, this would actually potentially hurt Dolph Ziggler in the long run, just because of he's still holding money in the bank and he still hasn't cashed it in yet, so. It just makes you wonder if they were to go that route, would he be cashing in at WrestleMania? But which is really hard it's really hard for me to say, but it just makes you wonder. And also another thing that they could do perhaps is they could perhaps maybe leave the match as is and just make Swagger do the job at WrestleMania to Del Rio, and and then suspend him afterwards for 30 days if they don't just out and out fire him, which I don't think they would fire him in this case, although they have every right to do so. But if this really is his first strike against the wellness policy, probably what's going to happen, probably what would happen, I think, would be that he would be suspended for 30 days, and he would probably end up jobbing for a little while. He'd probably be pushed back down the card, which I think would, it'd be really a shame for Swagger in this regard, just because for all intents and purposes, he was looking at a big push, especially with Uncle Zeb right next to him. And to me, this is a really big mistake that Jack Swagger has made, and I think he's going to end up paying for it by not wrestling for the world title at WrestleMania. I think I just wouldn't want to be Jack Swagger right now. Let's just put it that way. But anyway, give me your thoughts on what you think is going to happen with this Jack Swagger situation. If you want to leave me a video response, I would welcome that as well. So anyway, I'm Marvelous Mark, and I am signing off for now, and I'll talk to you later.